that we are going to go ahead and get started here now. I am Natalia Bailey. I'm a marketing and communications consultant for health and wellness companies based out of Orlando, Florida. And today I'm talking about the Powerhouse Trifecta. These are the top 3 strategies for your health and wellness company to triple your followers, sales, and retention. So I'm super excited to share the system with you. It's created specifically for health and wellness companies like yours, and it is the first time I am running it, a free training on this. So before we dive in, I want to go ahead and get real for a minute as we get started here. If you signed up for this training today, you're probably feeling some sort of overwhelm about just life and business with all of this COVID craziness going on. And I know we've all been in it for a couple months now, but I know personally that the stress, it keeps bubbling up from time to time, right? We feel it still. And so you might have started 2020 with certain goals and you've just lost sight of those goals because of everything going on. And you might be feeling a general sense of overwhelm. And maybe you're too overwhelmed to really focus on your marketing lately. If that's you, I want you to know it's completely okay and you are in the right place. By the end of this training, you're going to be leaving feeling renewed and re-energized and a full sense of purpose and direction. So that's my goal for you here today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn my screen, my video off now so we can really all focus on the presentation. All right, so as we get started here, let's talk first about why there is no better place for you to spend this next hour. I want you to understand why this training is worth your time, because I know you're a savvy business person. You tend to be really intentional with your time, and I completely understand it. I'm the exact same way. And I think it's important for us to protect our time. So that's why I want you to know that each of these 3 strategies are going to give you the potential to outperform your current marketing efforts by a minimum of 3 times over. They're specifically selected for maximum impact in the health and wellness space, not just any industry. So if you're involved in a growing business in the health and wellness space, this is the perfect investment of your time, which brings me to my next point. Who is this training for? This training is for you if you're a company, professional, or entrepreneur in the health and wellness space. And that means you might have founded your company, or you're involved in leading the marketing or sales, or you might even be a solopreneur. If that's you, I also know that you may be feeling pretty random or aimless about your marketing strategy right now. You might be trying tips and tricks here or there that you learn online or from friends, or you're really just throwing things against the wall to see what sticks, and you're not seeing big results, or your results are about as random as your strategy. You also might be trying some smart strategies, but it's taking up all of your time and mental energy. And you know a little bit about what you need to do, but it's just taking you so long, and it's creating a bunch of stress that's not serving you. If that's you, I want you to know it's 100% okay, because that means that right now you're in a place of awareness and you know that you can't last like this. So this is the right place for you. You're going to walk away with some amazing transformations. So is that you? Go ahead, use the chat feature. I want to know what specifically you're experiencing. Let me know. I'm going to go ahead and address any of those experiences and any questions you have during a Q&A at the end here. So if that is you and you're experiencing a lot of stress and lack of direction in your marketing now, like I said, you're in the right place and you're going to learn what you need to do to turn that story around right now. Because in this training today, you're going to learn the Powerhouse Trifecta. These are the 3 top strategies for health and wellness companies to triple their followers, sales, and retention. And with this, First, we're diving into the power of social proof with influencer marketing to triple your followers. Then you're going to learn how to convert those followers into paying customers with the power of email marketing, which is your #1 tool for conversions. And finally, you're going to learn how to keep those customers for the long haul with the power of event marketing, which is where you're going to create a tribe and a community that your customers aren't going to want to live without. We're also going to cover exactly why combining these 3 strategies together is creating the perfect trifecta for the health and wellness industry specifically. We're also going to break your brain a little and reveal why you should not be tripling your workloads to achieve these triple results. Instead, you should be having the time that you spend on your marketing right now. Because if you are tripling your workloads to execute these strategies, it's gonna mean that you're doing it wrong. And with the Powerhouse Trifecta, you're going to need to eliminate that kind of stress, the kind of stress that makes you want to throw your computer across the room to pull this off. And you'll see how and why as we go along. You should also make sure to stay until the end of this entire presentation, because if you do, you're going to get a free bonus from me. And that bonus is the Powerhouse Trifecta Starter Kit. And that's because I know that the Powerhouse Trifecta is only going to have the maximum impact for your business if you carry out the full strategy. And I want you to get the most possible value out of this training. It's not a piece-by-piece solution. It is a holistic solution. So to make sure that you're getting all of the information here, I'm offering this free gift. Make sure to stay for it. It's going to be awesome. And now, as we're getting going, I want you to know why this marketing training is uniquely different. And that's because I'm not just any marketer. I came from the health and wellness industry. That's where my education and my heart has been since I was a kid. And because of that, I know just where you're coming from and where your audience is coming from. And on a professional front, I've worked marketing and communications with companies for years, and I know just what it is to have a hard time internally within a company to get organized, get y'all on the same page, and to drive growth and sales consistently. So, where exactly am I coming from? Well, I'll give you a little personal background on me. I was raised in Orlando, Florida with an amazing family, which you can see my huge family in that picture. And being in Orlando, we had a ton of fun. We went to Disney World all the time with our annual passes. I loved The Little Mermaid, and I grew up with this huge family. It was a really fun childhood. But I had this huge life-changing moment when I was just 11 years old. I saw the doctor one day, and she told me that I was overweight, had high cholesterol, and was at risk for diabetes. Her advice to me was to start vacuuming for exercise and to drink skim milk instead of whole. And to be honest with you guys, I don't even know if I drank milk back then. I certainly don't now. So since you're in health and wellness, you probably know this is not a lot to go on for an 11-year-old. But I have always been an academic, and I immediately got to researching the crap out of losing weight and being healthy. I started reading all these health and wellness magazines like my life depended on it. I was reading Women's Health and Shape and 17, and I got a lot of information in a very short period of time. So by the time I was 13 years old, I'd dropped a full 30 pounds. And I was a super health nut for a 13-year-old kid. I was packing my own healthy lunches and working out before and after school. And I started playing sports like volleyball and track and practicing yoga. And that continued through high school. I was on the varsity teams for swimming, wrestling, and water polo. I even won the state wrestling championships once, which was awesome. And at the end of high school, I was named Scholar Athlete of the Year. And then I flew across the country to California to attend Stanford University, right there in the heart of Silicon Valley. There, I majored in human biology, concentrating in human performance and health, and I continued my athletics by competing in triathlon for a couple of years, and then I found Olympic-style weightlifting my junior year of college. That is where I found a community like no other, and I've continued competing until this very day. It's been an awesome experience. I've won multiple gold medals and competed on the national stage and got to travel all over the country. And I even lifted with an Olympian once, which made me very happy. And so that's just a little bit of my fitness background. Straight out of college, I went ahead and worked as a PE coach and personal trainer. And because I'd always been such an academic as well, I eventually decided to enter the world of tech right there in Silicon Valley. First, I started out in a financial tech startup, and I quickly took on our customer communications. From there, I taught myself web development, started consulting on the side, and moved into technical customer success at an email communications startup. Then I moved back home to Orlando and took on leadership at a vaccine tech company. First as a customer success team manager, and then a partner marketing and communications manager. And so while I was enjoying my 9-to-5 management role there, I was suffering with a severe lack of passion. I noticed that anytime a coworker mentioned their CrossFit workouts or their marathon training or something like that, my heart lit up in a way that was so different compared to the dullness I was feeling day to day. So I thought to myself, why not apply my massive skill set in marketing and communications to the health and wellness industry that I love so much? So that's where I am now. As you can see, I've seen the amazing personal transformation that can come from the health and wellness space. And that is why I am so thrilled to help amazing companies like you. Because if you're not engaging with people along their journey and offering your expertise, they're missing out on that wonderful positive experience. So why exactly do I want you to understand my story? Well, I want you to know that I truly believe health and wellness companies have the power to transform people's lives for the better, and I'm so excited to help make that happen. Like I said, I'm not just any marketer. I'm a marketer who understands the health and wellness industry from the inside out, and I understand just how to connect with your audience. I also understand where you're coming from. I've worked with tons of gyms, coaches, clubs, and trainers through my life, and I've seen firsthand some of the huge barriers standing in the way between them and success. And all of that is why I created the Powerhouse Trifecta system. I understand that not just any old marketing tactics are going to work for the health and wellness industry, and there are a few specific strategies that, when we bring them together in a smart system, are going to move the needle the most for companies like yours. Okay, so first, we're going to talk about the #1 barrier to breaking through to achieve your goals. And guess what? It actually has nothing to do with the right marketing strategy or finding the right influencer or anything like that. It actually starts with you. So if you are like a lot of health and wellness professionals out there, either you or your company are carrying the either conscious or subconscious belief that this marketing stuff just isn't for you. And I know most health and wellness professionals I've interacted with, they have this belief that marketing shouldn't be part of the health and wellness experience. It's a belief like people should know what's good for them, people should want to be healthy and well in whatever form that is, and they should come to you because they need it. So it's a very do-gooder mentality of expecting people to do what's good for them no matter what. And what this belief is actually doing, whether you realize it or not, is it is stopping you from taking the actions necessary to market and grow your business. Because if you're believing that people will do what's good for them, you are not reaching out to your audience, you're not focusing on your marketing, and you are not creating a system behind your marketing. Instead, you're operating under this assumption of build it and they will come. And so you're focusing on building a product that will help people, but you're not focusing on building a system to attract and convert those people who need it. And trust me, I've seen this so many times with gyms and fitness platforms and wellness coaches who do not invest in their marketing, and they actually reject ambitious, huge goals of growth or sales because they have this underlying belief that health and wellness should stay focused on helping people, and that is mutually exclusive with building a booming business. But listen, first of all, build it and they will come does not work with anything in the world of business anymore. Because now consumers expect companies to create brands that they can engage with before they buy, you really need to stand out to get a new customer. And second, people hardly ever do what's good for them on the first try. Because just like buying into a product, it takes a lot of repeat exposure and time before people buy into a new healthy behavior. So you're not only marketing your specific product, you're also marketing the life-transforming benefits of health and wellness, which is, as we all know, a challenge of its own. And lastly, and most importantly, I want you to understand that your playing small does not serve the world. You are offering an amazing life-transforming solution, and it's your responsibility to your future customers to market the hell out of it. If you don't believe it already, I need you to believe it. You need you to believe it, not me. Because really, this belief is the only one that's going to propel you forward to take the actions that you need to take to see massive success. So go ahead and let me know if any of that resonates with you. I want to know, what are your limiting beliefs? What is it that your company might be struggling with right now? So I can go ahead and address that at the Q&A at the end. So overall, it's time for you to toss those limiting beliefs in the trash and for you to go all in with your marketing. Because if you are experiencing any of those limiting beliefs, I just want you to know, first of all, you are not alone in that. There's plenty of people that feel that way, and it is okay, because this training, this Powerhouse Trifecta, is going to give you the jumpstart that you need. And once you start implementing this system consistently, you're going to see some amazing results like you've never seen before. First, you're going to see an enormous amount of leads enter into your funnel. Second, you're going to see conversion rates through the roof compared to now. And third, you're going to find yourself retaining those new customers because they love your community so much. So my question to you is, how would that feel? Think about it. What if you achieved and exceeded your sales goals? What would that really look like? How would that change your business? Or how would that change your whole life? Would you finally go all in your business? Would you have the energy and vibrancy in your work just skyrocket? Would you set and achieve even bigger goals, come up with bigger ideas, help an even bigger audience? Go ahead, let me know in the chat. I want to hear what you think about that too. What do you think your life would look like? All right, so who is ready to see the Powerhouse Trifecta? All right. This system is going to tie together the 3 most effective marketing strategies to create a powerful machine for you to attract your ideal leads, convert those leads into paying customers, and retain those leads as loyal brand advocates, and bring customers right through that cycle again, over and over again. And you're going to see that each stage of this system, it aligns perfectly with an ideal sales funnel, where you're guiding customers through from the very first contact when you attract them with influencer marketing, through to engagement and conversion with email marketing, and repeating that sales funnel cycle by retaining customers with event marketing. And this is a scalable, repeatable system that will automatically create a lead generation and conversion machine for your business. So, are you really ready? To make sure you're completely ready, go ahead and take these 3 steps right now. Number 1, go ahead and make sure to write all of this information down. Grab your notebook, open up a Google Doc, whatever it is you have to do, and make sure to write down your questions too, or throw them in the chat right away. Anytime you have a question, throw it in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and check all those questions at the end of this presentation. Second, go ahead and turn off all your other distractions, including social media, your phone, other browsers. And third, get your mind ready to take action on these steps and implement this system. Because really, taking action and actually doing the things is the only way this is going to work for you. All right, we are on step number 1. Here it is. Step number 1 to creating your powerhouse trifecta of health and wellness marketing is to adopt an influencer marketing strategy. If you haven't heard of influencer marketing already, this is your key to attracting your ideal customers quickly and creating an audience that already trusts you right off the bat. With influencer marketing, what you're going to do is you're going to partner with an influencer who has an audience of your ideal customers, and that influencer, is going to promote your brand. So we're going to talk about how to find an influencer in a bit, but for now, I want you to understand the power of getting an endorsement from an influencer and the massive impact it's going to have on your lead generation. So influencers, what they do is they work really hard to build up a particular audience and to engage and serve that audience. And they tend to be what we would call attractors, which are people with a personality and a message that simply attracts others. You might also find personality tests that refer to influencers as the star, but the point is that influencers are people who thrive in the spotlight and they automatically pull followers toward them. And an influencer's audience, they love to see what that influencer's up to. They love to know what they're thinking or doing. And the audience is simply attracted to the person themselves. And the audience basically wants to be that influencer. And we can contrast this kind of a person to people who we might call connectors. Connectors might be better at connecting people with each other or with other organizations, like in networking situations, rather than attracting people to themselves. Another kind of person who we might contrast attractors to would be people who act more as trusted resources. These people might advise or give counsel or support others rather than speaking out their own message. So the take home for you there is that influencers are unique in their ability to be a role model and a star that an audience feels attracted to. And they have this amazing ability to get an audience to fall in love with them and become a leader that an audience will follow. So what do influencers have to do with your lead generation? Well, when an influencer talks, their audience listens. So if their audience is already used to consuming that influencer's message, an endorsement of your product from that influencer is pure gold. An influencer endorsement goes to a large, trusting, and willing audience and represents social proof of your concept. Social proof is a powerful tool, and I really want you to understand this concept of social proof. It includes word of mouth recommendations, testimonials, endorsements, and this social proof itself is found to convert 3 to 5 times more sales than any other marketing method. Think about that, 3 to 5 times more. And it's this power that influencers give you that you cannot give yourself, right? Because you can't endorse yourself. It doesn't work. That's not social proof. That's self-promotion. And self-promotion and advertisements, things like that, they don't count as social proof. So when we apply that 3 times greater conversion rate to your lead generation with influencer marketing, it means that 3 times more leads who see your brands recommended by an influencer are going to follow you compared to if you were to advertise yourself to new leads with paid ads. So paid ads, they have their time and their place, but influencer marketing needs to become part of your arsenal at the front end of your sales funnel when you're capturing leads. Because having this social proof on the front end, it's not only going to convert 3 times more people who see your message into followers, it's also going to lead to higher retention rates down the road. That's because referred customers, it's shown time and time again, referred customers have at least 37% higher retention rates, which is a huge amount. If you know about retention already, retention increases as small as 5% are shown to increase overall profits by 25 to 95%. Imagine if your profits went up by 25 to 95%. How would that change your life? All right, so the last reason that influencer marketing is going to triple your followers is because your influencer already is going to have access to thousands of your ideal buyers. And what I mean by this is that influencer's audience is gonna resemble your ideal customer so closely that their endorsement of you is going to the right kinds of buyers who are most likely going to resonate with your message. And you'll get this audience of ideal buyers immediately without having to spend months building up an audience of your own. And so finding an influencer with an audience of your ideal buyers is also the secret to pulling off influencer marketing the right way. It's not as easy as it sounds, and a ton of people mess it up all the time. So this leads into your first step for finding your influencer. First step to finding your influencer is to first niche down and gain a hyper-specific understanding of who you are and the specific pain points you are solving for your customers. If you don't know who you are first, you're not going to be able to understand who your ideal customer is. From there, second step, you're going to paint a picture of who your ideal buyer is. This includes where they hang out, what they do, what they're interested in, what social media platforms they're on the most. You just want to get in their heads. Step number 3, you're going to go ahead and paint a picture of your target market by creating a buyer persona. This is going to be a clear, tangible idea of who your ideal buyer is, and you're going to make that tangible by going ahead and giving this persona a name. You're going to say what city they live in, are they married, do they have children, what brings them joy, what brings them pain, what are they looking for, right? And you might have multiple buyer personas, and that depends on your primary audience and whatever secondary audiences you have, right? And so if you notice, all 3 first steps of finding an influencer have nothing to do with the influencer yet, right? Now, once you've got your foundation, you're going to go ahead and dive into your 4th step, and that is going to be to strike up a partnership with an influencer who shares your audience. The way you're going to do this, you're going to go ahead and contact them. You're going to strike up a partnership and figure out compensation, and that compensation, it can be really creative. Influencers don't only take cash, they also take gift cards or product as payments, and so it really does not have to be an expensive pursuit. But however you work with an influencer, I want you to make sure of one thing. There's one qualification that your influencer needs, and it is not the size of their audience, though that might be what you would think first, right? But actually, an influencer, they can have a pretty small audience, but have huge impact if their audience is really loyal and very close to your ideal customer. The number 1 qualification they need really is that they need to love your product truly. It's not going to help your case at all if an influencer is just in it for the money. You really want to make sure that they really believe in what they're endorsing. And so this might involve you sending them samples or helping them understand your product. But whatever it is that you do, you need to make sure that your endorsement from influencers are going to be real, really genuine. And so their audience, they're going to pick up on that energy and they're going to want to buy your product or follow your brand. All right, so that is element number 1 of the Powerhouse trifecta. That's how influencers are going to triple your followers and your lead generation. If you have any questions about that, go ahead, pop it in the chat. I'm going to be super happy to answer at the end. All right, so step number 2 of the Powerhouse trifecta is to adopt email as the most powerful asset in your conversion toolbox. Now that you've focused on your followers with influencer marketing, you have a bunch of new leads, and it's time for you to focus on converting those followers into paying customers. And so if you're hearing this, you might be thinking, how? How is email the key to converting? How is that going to triple my sales conversions? Do people even read their emails? Well, I'm so glad you asked that. It is absolutely essential that you, as a marketer, or as any sort of business person, you need to understand that email is still the #1 tool for conversions. And that's despite social media, despite new text message notifications, right? It's still #1. And that's because of the long-standing stats that we can see behind it. First of all, it has a potential return on investment of up to 4,400%, which is absolutely insane. 99% of people check their email every day. You know, even if we don't like it, we still check it. And email overall has an average open rate of 22% and click-through rate of 3.7%. Now, if you're not really familiar with the latest marketing stats, that may not seem like much, but if we compare this to social media, we see that social media has a pretty weak average engagement rate of 0.58% per post. And keep in mind that during this time, right, during coronavirus, email usage has only increased with people staying home. We've seen that since March 9th of this year, purchases over email have almost doubled, and weekly email signups have grown by over 34%. Makes sense, right? People are home, they have more time. And most importantly, of all these stats, and to our point here, email conversion rates are 6 times greater than social media. And 10 times more people, they're checking email for sales and buying opportunities. They're really looking to buy things over their email. So that's why email is powerful. And after learning all of this, I have a big question for you. How are you using your email right now? Because I have to tell you, most of the time when I visit a health and wellness company's website, I don't see an email sign up anywhere on their homepage. And it just drives me absolutely insane, because my heart breaks to think of all the amazing leads that must be visiting on their website and leaving without ever interacting with that brand again, right? So many wasted opportunities. And I also know that no email sign up means that that company is probably underutilizing their email to a horrifying degree, or they're ignoring their email altogether. Instead, they might be praying that their social media posts and spending money on ads are going to convert sales. But the problem with that is that social media is not where leads are looking to be sold, right? It's where they're looking to engage, really. And paid ads, on the other hand, they aren't going to do as much to convert because there's no prior relationship established beforehand. And the way that email is able to convert 6 times more sales than social media is that it's empowering you to build relationships with leads beforehand. It's empowering you to stay connected with your current customers, and it's empowering you to establish yourself as a standout leader in your industry. And it gives you the opportunity to provide value to an audience that you yourself own. This is an important point. You have to remember, on social media and with paid ads, you don't actually own your audience. It's up to social media algorithms or ads parameters to determine if people are even going to see your message. But with email, it's 100% guaranteed that those emails are going to land in your leads inbox. But of course, even if you have an email sign up on your homepage, you're building your email list, there are still a bunch of things that could go wrong. So I want to address some of the most common and debilitating mistakes that you could be making and how to fix them. So number one mistake, you're not providing incentivizing reasons for people to join your email list. And if that's you, you might be seeing that your list size is growing at a snail-like speed. So the solution is lead magnets. Lead magnets, if you don't know about them already, they are these awesome, valuable pieces of content that you can offer your leads in exchange for their email sign up. And some ideas of these potential lead magnets, they include things like ebooks, video series, or quick, handy checklists. And you can really get creative about what you do and also where you place these lead magnets. So your homepage, it's a obvious and really great location for anyone who visits your site, but you could also consider adding lead magnets to specific blog posts, like offering a PDF deep dive at the end of a pretty surface level blog post. And you can always also adapt your lead magnets to whatever's going on at the time, right? So for example, I've seen a ton of health and wellness companies offer COVID-specific survival guides right now during the time to help their customers. Okay, so that's mistake number one. Mistake number two is that you are not sending out emails to your list regularly. And this is a huge mistake because, like we said, email is where the magic of sales happens. And if you're not sending emails, you are leaving a ton of money on the table. And what I mean by this is not that you're asking for a sale or you're promoting a product in every one of your emails. Not at all. We don't want that. What we want is to always follow the 80-20 rule with your email marketing, so you're staying top of mind with your customer. And what this rule is you're going to go ahead and offer value to your customer 80% of the time over email, and you're going to pitch that sale 20% of the time. And pitching the sale, it might look like offering a special holiday discount or advertising a new product. It doesn't have to be the same pitch every time, but you do need to be sending out those emails at a regular pace, either every week or whatever it is, so that your audience gets to know you and they get to trust you. And when they do get that pitch email, they are going to be ready to buy. Lastly, mistake number three is that you are not automating your emails for every type of customer during every stage of their journey. So the solution to this right here is to create some awesome automated drip campaigns. And let me tell you guys, let me tell y'all, I really love drip campaigns, guys. Like this is one of my favorite aspects of marketing, is just automating campaigns. And so what drip campaigns are they are these automated email sequences that trigger based off of the actions a lead takes with your brand. And so they're customized to help the lead move forward in your sales funnel. And they're targeted to where that lead is at in your sales funnel. So some examples to explain what I mean by this is you could have drip campaigns that include visitor nurturing for new visitors, or a new customer onboarding, or abandoned cart reminders, or re-engagement campaigns for inactive customers, those customers who have fallen off the wagon. Or you can have feedback campaigns to collect surveys or testimonials. So this is the kind of automation that I'm talking about that is going to have the amount of time that you spend on your marketing and triple your results, right? Because it's automated. You really want to, with this whole system, you want to be looking for automations and tools to to fast track your marketing and cut down on the amount of time that you're spending. And so you might think that that's not as personalized to automate your email sequences, but actually it's even more personalized because you're speaking to the customer specifically where they're at and not just giving them this generic message. All right, so with email, those are the three most common mistakes and their solutions. And that is really going to cut down on the amount of time and ramp up the results you're getting. All right. So now that you understand the conversion power of email building, it's time to move forward in our sales funnel and learn how to retain those customers. That's why the third step of the Powerhouse Trifecta is to retain your customers with event marketing. So first of all, what is event marketing? Well, it's simply throwing events to help market your business. And so we're going to go into the how of this in a bit, but first I want you to understand the why and why it's so important. First, let's acknowledge a simple fact. Health and wellness is really hard, right? It's really hard to wake up every day and make healthy choices. It's hard to eat healthy foods and exercise and practice self-care and all of these awesome habits that people know are good for them, right? And so as a company in this space, you are not only fighting for retention the way that any company would, but you're also fighting to help people make healthy choices every day. And your customer's ability to do that, it might have nothing to do with you. So we have to acknowledge that there is already an element inherent to health and wellness that makes it really hard for people to stick with it. And so this is where event marketing comes in. What event marketing does is it makes your product, your brand, more than just about you. So go ahead and follow along with me for a second on this. I want you to think about any time you've stuck it out with something difficult for a long period of time. Whether it was you were competing in a sport, or you were completing a project, or you were just working a really hard job. Think about, what was it that motivated you to stick around? What was it that gave you energy to keep going every day? And whether you realize it or not, I'm guessing that it was actually the people around you who gave you inspiration to keep going. And I know I've experienced that myself. I've experienced it in my sports and in my work, but especially with my sports, I've always loved community events, and teams like my weightlifting team and the weekly rituals we would do really kept me going. And so by creating your own culture of community events, you're not only going to be creating a strong brand, you're also going to be creating a strong tribe. And it's this tribe that your customers are going to fall in love with. They're going to enjoy it consistently. And it's the community that's going to encourage them to stick around and stick out your solution. And so that's the why of event marketing. Now let's talk about how, especially now, right? How are you going to be throwing events, especially with COVID? And because even if you were a local in-person business, you're probably not in the position to be able to throw a bunch of parties right now. And so I want you to know that there are plenty of ways to throw events that are completely virtual and that go way beyond just Zoom calls, although Zoom parties are also awesome. All right. So let's dive into some of the strategies to come up with some awesome, engaging events that your community is going to love. First, we are going to talk about creating small weekly events by naming your days with awesome alliterations. And yes, awesome alliterations is an alliteration. And so what I mean by this is you're going to name your days with alliterations like Talk Tuesday, right? That is the classic example. And for health and wellness companies, you can get creative and come up with whatever you want. That includes Wellness Wednesdays or Fit Fridays. You can really go as simple or unique as you want. And this trick, it's one of my go-tos, not only for events, but also for content creation and productivity hacks. And it's a really great way to get brainstorming. And the added power of these alliterations is that it makes your days easily memorable. So your audience, they're going to remember exactly what event you're holding on what day, and they are going to expect it, and they are going to be mad, really mad, if you don't do it one week. So go ahead and make your events good, right? They're gonna love it. And the kinds of events that you can hold every week, they could be things like Facebook or Instagram lives, they could be Zoom parties, virtual workouts, or customer shout outs on social media. You can come up with a ton of things. There's a ton of ways to get people involved. All right, method number 2 is to theme different special events like maybe once a month or once every few months, by working off of unique holidays related to your industry. So if you don't know already, there are way more holidays than you know about, and they celebrate all sorts of things. Some examples just in this past month alone include Bike Month and National Fitness Day and Salad Month. So what you might do is choose one of these holidays that relate to you, and you can run a special event like maybe a webinar or a live cast or a photo contest to see who can celebrate the holiday the best, right? Really fun ideas that you can come up with there. The third strategy to creating events is to set goals for your community to achieve together. So this might look like creating a fitness challenge or a nutrition challenge or a cooking challenge, something to encourage the community to set goals for themselves and push each other to achieve those personal goals. And by push each other, I don't mean that people are necessarily going to like DM each other directly or encourage each other by name, because this is virtual, right? But we can expect that that might happen, but really what's more likely to happen is that by giving your customers the chance to show off what they're accomplishing, other people watching what they're accomplishing are going to feel encouraged themselves. All right, so those are the 3 ways that you can get started with creating some awesome events to build a community out of your customers. And all of these can be applied virtually. Once things start opening back up again, they can be applied in person too, and you can have a lot of fun with it. And then the other huge benefits to using event marketing to creating a tribe that you might not expect is that you are going to reel back in your current customers. So if you're not doing something like event marketing right now, it's probably likely that you're not engaging your customers as much as you should right now, and they're on the fence about you. And so when you do that, when you're not focusing on your current customers, you're making a really big mistake, because it costs you twice as much to go out and get a new customer as it does to keep your current customers. That is the cost of bad retention. And so your current customers, they're gonna see what you're doing with event marketing. They're gonna be so happy with the fact that you're finally engaging them, and they're gonna love it so much that they're going to transform from feeling kind of meh about your brands to really loving your brand. And the added benefits of these current customers seeing your transformation is that they're going to see what a huge effort that you're putting into the community specifically, and they are going to become your most loyal brand advocates. All right, so that was event marketing. That was your key to retaining the customers you've earned. And again, right, like let's go ahead and check in on what we've covered so far. Let's see who's on board. Go ahead and chat. Go ahead and let me know in the chat if you're still on board here. We're going to go ahead and recap it. First, we talked about how to attract your brand new leads by partnering with an influencer who has an audience of your ideal buyers and who endorses your product. And this is going to triple your followers by using the power of social proof. Second, we moved forward in the sales funnel and we talked about how to engage and convert those brand new leads that you got through the conversion power of email. Third, We talked about how to retain those newly converted customers and transform them into the most loyal brand advocates with event marketing. So, are we on the same page? Let me know, guys. Let me know in the chat. All right. So after all this, now I want to know, where are you really at right now? Because at this point, your mind, it's going to be in one of three places. And I want to know, are you feeling number one, number two, or number three? Number one, you're going to walk away from this training and you're going to do nothing. You're going to think to yourself, that was nice, and you're going to log off and you're not going to change anything. You're going to keep on seeing the same old results and feeling the same old frustrations, and maybe you'll complain a little more, right? Because more time has gone by and so you're more frustrated. That's option number one. Option number two, you're going to think about this. You're going to think some of the tactics were pretty cool. You're going to walk away and you're going to try some of them out. You're going to go ahead and Google some more stuff. But after a few days or maybe a few months, if you're lucky, you're going to hit a roadblock and you're going to fall down a Google search rabbit hole. Those are the worst. And you're just not going to get out on the other side. But option number three is that you're going to go all in with the system. And so if you're in the all in category, or even if you want to be, this is what that looks like. First, you're going to be sick and tired of being sick and tired about your marketing strategy. You're going to have absolutely no time to waste because you are so sick and tired of wasting so much time already. And you're going to acknowledge where you've been, where you have room to grow, and you're going to accept that truth peacefully without shame, and you're going to stop feeling sorry for yourself. You're going to accept where you've been and make the decision to get to a better place. You're going to toss aside your fears and your discomfort and those limiting beliefs that have been holding you back in unleashing your full marketing and sales potential. And even though it feels scary, you're going to take the leap to go all into your business because you know that that transformative change is worth it. And even if you don't feel all in right now, I want you to know that you always have a choice. I truly believe that. You always have the option and the ability to rewrite your story and rewire your brain for the better. Because only we control our thoughts, feelings, and actions, and you have the control to change your thoughts, feelings, and actions to set huge goals and achieve them. Because if you commit to these three core elements, there's nothing that's going to stop you from creating an unstoppable lead generation and conversion machine. Of course, there's nothing that's going to stop you except for yourself and your own limiting beliefs, right? So if you're willing, I want you to ask yourself, are you willing to risk staying in the mentality that this marketing stuff just isn't for health and wellness companies like you? Because I have seen many health and wellness companies hold themselves back just because of that idea that marketing and sales doesn't have a place in the industry. And I really don't want you to fall into that same trap. In fact, I really wish that I could help you craft the perfect personalized Powerhouse Trifecta system for your business. But let's get real here. This was only an hour-long training, right? And crafting a whole business system takes more than an hour. That is why I have a very special VIP invite for you all. This is the bonus I was talking about at the beginning, and lucky you are here to get it. I am offering a 100% free Powerhouse Trifecta action call with me to develop your perfect system. And this is usually a $247 value, but you are going to get this entire call for free. So, who is this call for? This call is for health and wellness companies, professionals, or entrepreneurs who are, first of all, 1,000% committed to stop wasting time and to start getting real results already. Second, you're not an excuse maker, you're not a complainer, and you are not making excuses for why right now isn't the right time to grow or transform your business. You know that time is precious and valuable, and it's the best time for positive change right now. Finally, you are absolutely determined to help people with your unique solution. You know that growing a business is way more than just about you. It's about your customers, how you can serve them, and how you can change their lives. And you know that it's your responsibility to offer that life-changing solution. So, what's going on in this call? In this call, we're going to go ahead and lay out all of your current offers, your current sales approach, all of your roadblocks, and get 100% clear on where you're at so that we can go ahead and create your plan of action. We're also going to get real about your current mindset and how your thoughts or your limiting beliefs are holding you back right now. And then we're going to talk about being all in on your business and implementing your Powerhouse Trifecta successfully with my expert system and support. So if at the end of the call we both think it's a good fit and we want to move forward, we're going to go ahead and talk about how I can help you. And if it's not, I'm going to go ahead and help you as much as possible by pointing you in the right direction. And this is something to note, because I am not Disney World, I don't have the capacity to serve everyone. I only have a limited number of spots over the next week to offer these sessions, so make sure to book right now. Here is where you can go ahead and schedule your free action call. I am also going to throw this link in the chat so that you can grab it. And you will see that in just a second here. And so I really want you to remember that it's time for you to take responsibility for your results right now. And that link will come up in the chat in just a little bit. Once Zoom works with me. So I'll get that to you all once we get into the Q&A in just 1 minute here. But really, I want you to remember and to really think about what it is, what do you have to lose by taking a step forward in your business right now? I really want you guys to take that step forward for yourselves, because it is time to get serious. So I'll go ahead and open it up to Q&A right now. If you come up with any specific in-depth questions, either now or you come up with them later, questions like how to rewire your beliefs or how to create lead magnets or anything else, our call that you can book here, that's where you're going to have those specific personal questions answered in depth. But for now, I'll go ahead and open up for any questions. I'm also going to go ahead and check on your chats during this training. And so we're going to have a few minutes of Q&A here. And I'm also going to make sure to get this scheduling link to you, because Zoom wants to hide my chat right now. So just give me a few seconds. I'm going to check on your questions here. All right, so you should see that scheduling link there right now. And I'm going over all of the questions now. All right, so first. Okay, yeah. So with so much uncertainty. Okay, I see the first question here is, Our marketing is well postponed. Our events are currently scheduled in October and maybe November, yet there is a significant risk that they will not happen. Kind of wondering how to market with so much uncertainty. Well, so with the uncertainty that's going on right now, really the best thing that we can be doing as marketers is to stay top of mind with our customers, with our consumers. And so staying top of mind really means engaging with customers by offering them value consistently. And so we talked about that a bit in email, right? Having a consistent, regularly scheduled engagement over email, so that when you are ready to pitch that sale, as we said before, in this case, it would be your events. You would be pitching your events as that sale. So when you are ready to pitch those, your email subscribers, they're going to be so used to getting value from you that they're going to be absolutely ready to buy, or to translate it in another way, to attend your event. And also with the events we talked about, right? I know this question, it came at the very beginning of the webinar, so we hadn't talked about event marketing yet, but that event marketing, all of those ideas that we talked about, that's gonna be really great for your virtual events, for hyping up your engagement and retaining your customers, so that when you are ready for those in-person events come this fall or whenever it is, they're ready for you. All right, that was the first question. I'm going into the next ones here. All right, just got a comment here about if I can make and exceed my goals, what would happen? I would stay on the same track, yet feel better, more secure along the way. I may hire more people more quickly. That's a really awesome consideration, right? Like, if you're able to make and exceed your goals, you're going to be able to get even more help and grow more, right? Really good to hear. And so another question here is, how would you recommend reaching out to an influencer? Since they have so many people that always want their attention, what is the best way for me to even get a response? That is a really good question. And I think it speaks to needing to understand how to interact with people in general, and how to be really creative with that compensation, right? And how to make sure that the influencer really loves your product. Because first of all, the way to reach out to an influencer, there are a lot of tools out there online that help you make contact with an influencer for the purpose of promoting your product. So there are specific tools, but you also want to make sure that they're a really good fit, so that when you tell them about your product and you send them samples, that's one way, they're really gonna love it and they're really gonna pick up on it, right? And so with influencers, it might be just really casual about reaching out on Instagram Messenger and just striking up a conversation, just going ahead and complimenting something of theirs that you really love. And you know, flattery, being kind, it goes a really long way. So you strike up a conversation there, and you're going to go ahead and offer up a deal, right? Talking about striking up a partnership, and that might be offering samples of your product, or gift cards, or special membership to your product, whatever it might be. And all right, so those were all the questions. If there are no more questions, which if you want to ask a question, I would love to answer still. All right, so if there are no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. Just want to say thank you to all of you awesome people. You were awesome. I really hope that this Powerhouse Trifecta is going to transform your business and your lives. I want so much to be able to talk with you personally, meet you face-to-face, virtually face-to-face, of course, and help you implement this system finally. So again, thank you all so much for joining. It was really great to talk to you. Go ahead and book your call right now using that link that was in the chat, and I will talk to you all later. Thanks so much.